Very good morning, everyone. I always hope and pray all of you well and happy. Again, very happy to see all of you in Zoom about our Dharma class. So without taking time, so today we recite from beginning to the third groan. Actually, we have, I think, two copies. One is translated by Thubden Chimba, right, which is we use during his teaching. Second copy we received from Venerable Geshe Lobsang last time when he gave a teaching about the middle way. So sometime when you read this textbook, sometimes a bit difficult to understand. This one more easy to understand. So you need to read both of them and compare, so which is more easy to understand the actual meanings. So we have two, I think, copies. With the pure motivations, please everybody visualize Buddha Shakyamuni. In front of the Buddha Shakyamuni, please visualize Acharya Nagarjuna. In front of the Nagarjuna, please visualize Chandrakirti. Because Chandrakirti received all the middle way teachings from Nagarjuna. Acharya Nagarjuna received all the teachings indirectly Buddha Shakyamuni. And pray to Buddha, Acharya Nagarjuna, and Chandrakirti for understanding emptiness. So we chant very slowly from the first groan, the perfect joy. I pay homage to the gentle Lord Manjushri. Charvakas and middle level Buddhas arise from Sarvajan sages. Buddhas are born from Bodhisattvas. The compassionate mind and non-dual cognitions, as well as the awakening mind, these are the cause of Bodhisattvas. As compassion alone is accepted to be the seed of the perfect harvest of the Buddhahood, the water that nurtures it, and the fruit that is long as a source of enjoyment, I will place compassion at the start of all. First, with the thoughts, I am, they cling to ourselves. Then, with the thoughts, mine, they become attached to the things. Like buckets on the water wheel, they turn without control. I bow to the compassion, the cares of such as suffering beings. Beings are like reflection of a moon in the rippling water, seeing them as felting and the devoid of intrinsic nature. The Bodhisattva's mind falls under compassion's away, yearning to set free every transmigrating beings. Through intense dedication with Samantha Bhatra's prayers, he abides in perfect joy. This is called the first groan. From that point on, having attained the groan, he is held by the names Bodhisattvas alone. He is born into the lineage of the Tathagatas as well. He has utterly purged the bending factors. such as bodhisattvas, upholds the state of supreme joy and has the power to shake 100 walls. Stopping on from one ground to another, he travels perfectly to the higher ones. At the point, the path to all lower realms are blocked for him. At the point, all the ground of the ordinary person cease for him. He is described clearly in terms asking to the eight Arya. Even when abiding on the first ground of the mind for full awakening, he surprised those born from the sage speech and the Pratika Buddhas through the power of his merit, and his merit increased evermore. When at gone affair, he will also surpass them, is intelligent. At this point, the first cause for all awakening, the perfection of generosity, will become permanent, committed to giving away even his very flesh. Giving becomes a sign to infer his unseen qualities. All living beings eagerly yearn for happiness. Yet, for human, there's no happiness without resources. Material resources, in turn, come about from generosity. Knowing this, the Buddha spoke on generosity first. Those with weak compassion and the ruthless minds who seek their own welfare with enthusiasm, even for them, he will, the desire will come from generosity. Of course, this relieves sufferings. Indeed, it is through the practice of generosity that he will swiftly, at one some pond, meet the Aryas. He will then cut clean the continuum of cyclic existence, and as a result, he will journey to the state of peace. Those who keep in mind this pledge to the helping sentient beings without much delay attain joy through their generosity, since it is for the both compassionate and one who is not. This discourse on generosity is primary. If simply hearing or thinking of the phrase giving me, give me, brings such as joy to the children of the conquerors, joy not experienced even by Arhat, who enter into peace. With what need it is there to speak of the joy when giving away everything. Cutting his body and giving it away, he sees from his own pain, the pain of others, such as at the birth in hells, as if he were undergoing this situation himself. Thus swiftly he strove to cut away all their pain. Generosity devoid of the gift, receiver, and giver is called superabundance, perfections. But when attachment for these three arises, it is then said to be the mendant perfection. Abide perfectly in the Bodhisattva's mind, and enrolled with the light beautifully the sublime one. This ground of perfect joy is water crystal gem, the moon, which dispel all darkness and regions victorious. Second ground. He is endowed with a perfect morality and purity. Even in dream, he shown the stain of immorality, since all movement of the body, speech, and mind are pure. He accumulates the excellent virtues of all 10 courses of action. Not only these part of virtues, but in all 10 deeds, he becomes more excellent and pure. Just as the radiant autumn moon enrolled in the night sky, morality enrolled with him peace and radiance. Should he, through pure sin in terms of the intrinsic nature, his morality will remain impure because of this. Thus, with respect to all three elements of the disciplines, he always remained free of flow of dualistic thoughts. The well through the generosity is founded even in the lower realms. This occurs when one has fractured the legs of morality, when interest and the capital itself are both exhausted. No perfect remain for one's in a further future life. If when free and living with favorable condition, we do not return the state we enjoy, we will fall into abyss and be at the mercy of other. What could enable us to rise up again from the such at states? Therefore, having engaged in the discourse on generosity, the Buddha proceeded to the discourse on the morality. And when qualities spring up in the field of morality, enjoyment of the fruits will become continuous. Ordinary being and the speech-born charvakas, those who are established for self-enlightenment, and the children of the conquerors as to their definite goodness, but in her realms, the cause is none other than morality. Just as the ocean and the crops do not remain together, and just as good fortune and calamity do not keep company, likewise, the great one who are governed by morality do not wish for the company of immorality, who relinquishes with an relation to whom, when any of these three is objectified or justified, such as morality is described as a mundane perfections. Free of attachment to these three is supreme maintenance. Thus, Bodhisattva born of the radiant moon of the morality, who is not obstacle existent, yet it is its glory. The stainless who, like moonlight, the moonlight on autumn night, remove the pain from the meat of the sentient beings, minds of the sentient beings. So next, the third ground of luminous. So the first 3:1, because of the fire burning of the fuel of all phenomena, producing light here, this third ground is called the luminous. Here the child of the Tathagatas perceive the copper-colored glow like that of the sun rays. So here we must remember, when the Bodhisattva reached to the third bhumi, which is the luminous bhumi, he totally controlled the ignorance. Therefore, he or she doesn't have any more the dualistic mind. Therefore, he totally, control the dualistic mind with all phenomena. Like the fire burn of the fuel, the wisdom of emptiness totally control the dualistic minds. Then 3.2, where a disturbed person to slash flesh from the bones of the body of the bodhisattvas, though he be innocent. Let's say, there's one very disturbed person, he or she cuts the bone and the flesh of the bodhisattva's body. But bodhisattvas always accept the person is very innocent. He just playing with my body. Not just cutting is very important. Cutting it off ounce, right? Ounce means like is equal to 1 pound, like pound or kilo. Cut off piece by piece. Not only flesh with the bone, not for just one time, many times for a long time. Cutting it off acorns by acorns over a approach period. This will serve to increase this kind of activity, drive or serve to increase his patience towards the torture. So this reason, he cannot really get angry to the disturbing person who is cutting his flesh and bones piece by piece for a long time. Instead of getting angry, his patience, forbearance, increase, have a more compassion towards the torture. This is the result of practicing forbearance, patience. Then 323 also, for a bodhisattva who sees selflessness, not just sees selflessness through the direct perceptions. Sees who cuts, who cut what, this means here you remember the person who cutting, what cut, how to cut. Who cut what, at what point in times, in what manner. He sees all phenomena as images in a mirror. So usually when we look at in the mirror, we can see our face. Without deep thinking, suddenly we think, oh, this is my face. After study for, quite a long time, then we notice this is just image of me just appear in the mirror. It's not actually my body. Therefore, when you study about dependent arising, all phenomena which appear to us as a beautiful, ugly, big, small, good, hot, cold, whatever, everything appear to us, we need to realize it is look like, image in the mirror. The image of the mirror is just exists merely only depending on the mirror, the glass. So whatever we see, whatever we perceive, everything only mainly arising from causes and condition, then we just label. This is good, this is bad, this is me, this is him, this is her. In the ultimate level, everything empty of inherent existence. Therefore, Bodhisattva sees selflessness. Therefore, he all phenomena as an image in a mirror. So, Chandrakirti used analogy, emptiness analogy. He used the chariot. Shantideva used the coil rope as a snake. Then Buddha Palita, he used the what you call the illusion, the magician horse. So different masters use different analogy. For example, for emptiness. Here, mirror. And by seeing those two, he will have such as forbearance. So these are the very important quality of forbearance or tolerance and patience. This practitioner has this kind of patience because he fully sees all phenomena like an image in a mirror. Then next, 3.4, 3.5, these are telling the consequence of anger, hatred. If you respond with vengeance when someone harm you, so let's say somebody harm us, then we respond with a very angry, vengeance when someone harm you. Then does your bitterness reverse what was already done? So these are like a question. If you respond with the vengeance when someone harm us, does our the bitterness reverse what was already done? Cannot. Say somebody hit you, so you have a very strong, you feel very painful. Then you respond with respond to the person. The pain not going to reverse, it's still there. Therefore, when somebody harm you, you should not really respond with the vengeance. Number one. Then number two, resentment serves no purpose here in this life. So usually, many people have a very resentment. They really hold the anger in deep down. First, when we have a very strong resentment in our mind, it's always remind us the person. So that reason, we feel very unrest. Right? Therefore, resentment serves no purpose here in this life. There's no any purpose. There's no any result, good result, no reason to have a resentment. And bring more conflict in the world beyond true. So we wish to be happy in this lifetime. Also, we wish to be happy in next life. If you have a resentment, then you can see it's a very contradiction. You wish to be happy, you still hold the resentment. The resentment accumulates a lot of negative result, negative karma. Then you will have a lot of problem and sufferings. If you wish to be happy this life, wish to be happy in next life, we should not have the resentment. There's no purpose for this life. Also, it's totally, kind of complex, is against with your desire. You have a desire to wish to be happy, but keeping the resentment is totally against with your desire to be happy. And bring more conflicts in this world beyond. Here you must remember, resentment serves no purpose. Number one. Then number two, next here, is bring more conflicts in this world beyond for next life. There's a two very strong negative consequences of anger, resentment, hatred. He who speaks of exhausting the fruits of non-virtuous action performed in the past. So we always try to exhaust the non-virtuous action we accumulated in the previous life or this life. Also, we believe all the unpleasant things we have, these are the result of non-virtuous actions. Then, when somebody harm us, somebody torture us, we just think, oh, this is the result of my previous non-virtuous action. Now, the negative action going to exhaust is good to be, harm me. It's good to be torture me, because you can realize that negative action going to exhaust. So you believe this way, but somebody harm you, then you cannot bear. This is contradiction. Therefore, he who speaks of the exhausting the fruit of the non-virtuous actions performed in the past, how can he bear to plant the seeds for future pain? By inflicting harm on others and being angry them. Right? When somebody harm you, if you get angry, then you are planting more seeds for suffering and pain for future. You don't want suffering. When you get angry, still you are planting more seeds. Why? Because of inflicting harm on others and being angry at them. So therefore, inflicting harm, being angry, putting lot of plant the seeds for future pain. So again here, so remember the resentment serves no purpose here in this life. Number two, it brings more conflicts in the world beyond. Number three, remember to plant the seeds of future pain. Indeed, anger felt towards the conquered children, destroying in an instant the virtues gathered by generosity, morality over 100 eons. Thus, there's no evil similar to the intolerance. Therefore, when we have a anger, we feel anger towards Bodhisattva, the conquered children. What happened? Then destroys in instant, within 1 minute, instant, the virtues gather. How long we gather? We gather for 1 eon through practice of generosity, morality. So therefore, also remember here, destroyed in an instant virtues gather by generosity and morality for 100 eons. And also remember the next one, thus there's no evil similar to intolerance. Those are the result of or consequences of the intolerance, impatience, resentment, anger. So this is we're talking about based on the karma, negative karma. Then next, the wrath figures your face and lead you to what is unwholesome. So when we get angry, we can see our beautiful face no more beautiful. It's become very wrathful, very unpeaceful face, very angry face, very ugly face. This figures your face and lead you to what is unwholesome. Here, remember two things here. Disfigures your face, lead to what is unwholesome. So this one, I think we everybody have an experience. We can see when someone get angry, the face is totally changed. But the person, dress beautifully, wear a lot of expensive jewel, have a very nice kind of makeup. But when the person get angry, everything becomes very ugly. And also in our life, we did a lot of kind of decision, wrong decision. Many in our life we did a lot of wrong decision because of anger. Therefore, somebody angry with the family, angry with the friends, angry with the family, angry with the boss, angry with the boyfriends, girlfriends. Therefore, many people commit suicide, a wrong decision taken because of the anger. Therefore, when anger arises, it lead you to what is unwholesome. So, angry always perform unwholesome consequence. Not only that, it robs your mind of judgment of what is right and wrong. Yes, then when you get angry, you are intelligent, your judgment, the mind which is judged usually we have a mind of the judgment to judge which is right, which is wrong. When anger arises, resentment there, so we don't know which is right, which is wrong, we always do the wrong things. Therefore, robs your mind of judgment of what is right and wrong. Intolerance. Here you remember two things. First one, the disfigures your face. The rough, disfigures your face and lead you to what is unwholesome. Then number 3, rob your mind of judgment of what is right and wrong. Number 4, intolerance is swift to throw you to the lower realms. Number 3. Then number 4, but the forbearance is conclusion. But forbearance bring quality opposite to the judge described it. Right? So first, Chandrakirti explained, what are the negative consequences, what are the negative of the resentment, hatred, intolerance, anger. So we count one more, all the negative results. If you respond with the vengeance when someone harm you, does your bitterness reverse what was done? This one, number 1, the resentment serves no purpose here, this life. Number 2, number 3, it brings more conflicts in the world of beyond. Number 4, then number 5, he who speaks of the exhausting the fruit of non-virtuous action performed in the past, how he can bear to plant the seeds for future hand. That means number 5, 5, 5th. Then by inflicting harm on others and being angry at them. Number 5. Number 6, indeed, anger fell towards the conquered children, destroyed the instant the virtues gathered for generosity and morality over 100 eons. Then number 7, thus there's no evil similar to intolerance. 7. Then 8, the rough figures your face. 9. Then 10, lead you to what is unwholesome. 11, it robs your mind of the judgment of what is right and wrong. 11 or 12, right? Intolerance sweep you to throw you to the lower realms. Let's say 13. But forbearance bring qualities opposite to the just described. Right? How we can just put opposite? Now all the sentence you have to change a little bit here and there, in terms of the practice of tolerance, practice of patience. If you not respond with the vengeance when someone harm you, your bitterness become more, calm. Reverse, not reverse, but whatever happened, the pain and suffering become less, more calm. The resentment serve no purpose. Then tolerance serve purpose here in this life. It brings more goodness. It brings no more conflicts in this world beyond. Then how can he bear to plant the seeds of the future pain? Then if he be patient, he or she bear to plant to the seeds of future happiness. Indeed, not change. Indeed, tolerance, compassion fell towards the conquered children. Humility is not a destroying, like accumulating instant virtues gathered by the generosity, morality over 100 eons. Thus, there's no evil similar to the intolerance. Switch these words. Thus, there's no best, friends similar to the tolerance. So somehow you read first negatively, second you change the sentence, read in the positive ways. So indeed anger fell towards conquered children, mean they are superior than us. Also, indeed anger fell towards equal to you. Indeed, anger fell towards lower than you. Then there's different level of destroying the virtues. Therefore, in the Bodhisattva's path, in the Mahayana teaching, the anger is, the hatred, then the resentment are the greatest enemy in Mahayana teaching, in Mahayana practice. So we follow the Mahayana teaching. We always have to be very careful with the anger. We know anger is going to arise. Somehow you suppress. Somehow you control, applying compassion, applying patience. Otherwise, you can see all the consequences. Now, the result of the tolerance, forbearance. Forbearance makes you attractive and dear to the sublime ones. So you can say the people who always be patient, be compassionate, physically, the person looks ugly. Physically, the person is not attractive, but somehow when you see the person, when you meet the person, when you talk to the person, when you stay with the person, you feel so happy. You feel, so peace around. That means the person becomes very attractive because of practice of forbearance. Forbearance makes you attractive and dear to the sublime one. When you always practice patience, you become very nice person among the friends, among in the society. Not only that, if you practice patience, if you always be patient, you are very dear to the Arhat. Sublime one. You become wise in knowing what is appropriate and what is not. So before you make a judgment, before you make a decision, you try to be very calm, be patient, be calm, be relaxed. Then your intelligence function very well. Then the decision can be, you can make a good decision. You cannot make a wrong decision. Therefore, look at, you become wise in knowing what is appropriate and what is not. Afterward, you gain birth in the Deva or a human. Right? Forbearance make you attractive. Then hatred, anger, resentment makes you unattractive and not dear to the sublime one. And you are become foolish in knowing what is appropriate and what is not. And afterward, you gain birth in a hell, in the lower realms. So this you can change. First the positive, second is the negative. Knowing the faults and the benefit of anger and forbearance, respectively, the ordinary beings and the bodhisattva, shown in tolerance and cultivate swiftly and constantly the forbearance praised by the Aryas. Knowing that, now we know what kind of negative consequences we have through anger. What are the positive consequences we have through practice of tolerance? Knowing the faults of the anger, the benefit of the forbearance, respectively, ordinary beings and bodhisattva. We must remember the faults of the anger of the ordinary beings. We must remember the benefits of the tolerance of the bodhisattvas. Then we shown the tolerance and cultivate swiftly, shown the intolerance and cultivate swiftly and constantly the forbearance. So here, please everybody know, not just read the books. You have this one because we can understand through our own experience. Therefore, when you get angry, so cultivate forbearance. Not just say, oh, now I'm angry, I will cultivate forbearance tomorrow. No, swiftly, constantly, a forbearance, which is praised by Arya. arhat, ariyat. Then forbearance, even dedicate towards the perfect Buddhahood, is mundane if justified in terms of the three factors. So here, when you practice patience, when you practice forbearance, remember the three factors, three elements. Right? This is sometimes use three elements, sometimes use three factors. For example, right now, if we practice patience, we are the practitioner who practice patience. We practice patience through our enemy, through the person who make angry us. Then what we practice patience. Practitioner practice the patience, practice whom. Remember three things, three factors. Then is maintenance, it justify in terms of the three factors. Not only that, also dedication. Even dedicated towards the perfect Buddha is maintenance if justify in terms of the three factors. So these words, let's say, forbearance is mundane if justify in terms of the three factors. Also, dedication towards perfect Buddhahood is mundane if justified in terms of the three factors. So, every class, every, end of our Dharma class, every day we do dedications. Also, remember three. We are the person who dedicate. So, we are the agent. So, we dedicate the merit. The merit is the thing which is we going to dedicate. Where we dedicate? Dedicate for sentient beings, dedicate for world peace, dedicate for Buddhahood. Those also, remember, those also empty of inherent. I practitioner also, empty of inherent resistance. The merit I'm going to dedicate, it also empty of inherent. So totally free from the inherent grasping of the agent, the things which is going to dedicate, whom we dedicate. So here forbearance is maintenance if justify in terms of the three factors. Even dedicate towards the perfect Buddhahood is maintenance if justified in terms of the three factors. If there is no such as forbearance, if there is no such of justification, the dedication, if there is no such as of justification, the Buddha said, this is perfection that indeed transcended the world, right? The mundane and transcendent. Remember why we named mundane? If your mind grasps with the intrinsic dedication, intrinsic practitioner, then we call this kind of practice, the result is called the mundane practice, because the result only happen in the samsaric. Then those are the the quality of the tolerance. Then there's not only that, there's a more quality, the bodhisattva who reach to the third bhumi. Also, on this ground, the third ground, the bodhisattva attains absorptions. Absorption, I think if I explain it quite a bit complicated. Absorption and clairvoyance. Here, attachment and aversion come to exhaust completely. No attachment, no more aversion, come to exhaust completely. Therefore, the Bodhisattva can have a clairvoyance. They have all kinds of observations. Because of this, he is at all times also able to destroy. Destroy what? Destroy all the attachment associated with the desire realms. He not only, completely exhaust attachment, aversion, also he totally destroy all the attachment associated with the desire realm. That means attachment associated with the desire realms, attachment associated with the form realms, desire associated with the formless realms. Ignorance also same. Because when we contemplate about the samsara in this world, we felt, oh, wherever I go, whoever I meet, whatever I take, the nature is very suffering. You feel renounce, right? Then, next, when you think about the form realms, still you don't have a really strong attachment about the desire realms, but you have a very strong desire, attachment towards the form realms. Many people in this world, they really wish to be born in pure land. The wishing to born in pure land is based on pure compassion, pure love, pure renunciation, or maybe attachment. Because, many people who born in like Africa, they don't want to stay Africa. They want to move in Europe and America and maybe in Singapore. Compare, Singapore and Africa. Africa has so many problems. But they don't have a strong desire to live in Africa, but they have a very strong desire, strong attachment towards Singapore. Make sure that people who practice pure land wish to born in pure land, not attachment, not the negative desire. Therefore, it's seated with the desire realms. Then the conclusion about the first, second, third ground. First, second, third practice. The three practices of generosity and so on. The three practices of generosity, morality, tolerance, patience, forbearance, three. Right? So first Bhumi explained practice of generosity. Second Bhumi explained practice of pure morality. Third Bhumi explained practice of patience. That means generosity, morality, practice of forbearance, and so on. The Sugata allowed it mostly for the householder. They also constitute what is known as a collection of merit, as they are cause of the Buddha's form body. So please remember, most of all of you, I think, lay person. As a lay person, the three practices are very relevant, very stable for you. So you must practice these three things. Also, you must practice, joy effort, concentration, and wisdom. Then the next sentence, I think, also very important. They refer to the three practices: practice of generosity, ethical discipline, and forbearance. They also constitute what is known as the collection of merit. And they are cause of the Buddha's form body. Remember two kayas, Rupakaya and Dharmakaya. The practice of generosity, practice of forbearance, practice of moralities are the cause to have Buddha's Rupakaya, the physical form. These bodhisattvas who abide in the sun radiating light, having fast dispelled perfectly the darkness within his own self, which can lead to utter destroy the darkness in other beings. On this ground, though extremely persisting no heat of anger remain. So first, this bodhisattva who abides in the sun radiant lights, mean who abide in the third bhumi of the Luminous, in the sun radiating light, having first dispel perfectly the darkness within his own self, right? He totally dispel his own darkness of anger, attachment, desire. Then wishes, keenly to utterly destroy the darkness in other beings. This also very, very important advice. Many of us, include me, many of us, particularly me, I always advise people, if you are angry, you practice compassion. If you feel lazy, you practice, like a joy perseverance. If you have an unhealthy relationship with someone, you do this. I give a lot of advice. Before I give advice, before I advise others, first, I must practice patience, control my anger, practice my joy effort, reduce my laziness, be honest myself, then tell other people honest. Otherwise, it cannot work. Therefore, here, look at the bodhisattva who abide in the sun, radiating the light, having first dispelled perfectly the darkness within his own self, himself. I told many times here in English, he say him because it's translated from Tibetan words. Tibetan him is same as a Chinese. Doesn't matter he or she, we will say ta. Right? Tibetan we say, doesn't matter the person is male or female, we say he. She also we say he. He also we say he. Only we have only one word. He refer to both male and female, like Chinese language, ta. Not only he refer to the man, his own self, which can lead to utterly destroy the darkness in other beings. On this ground, though extremely persisting, right? Do you remember the extremely persisting, no heat of anger remains. So these words I'm not sure. No heats of anger. So we can check the other origin. And, Here said the Bodhisattva who resides in the sun and is luminous, dispelling perfectly the darkness within his own self first. He keenly wishes to destroy totally the darkness of all beings. On this level, though extremely pressing, is never subject to anger. I think he never subject to anger is better. Okay, so this is, I think, today's lessons. On the next Sunday, so we start from the fourth ground, which is fourth ground is stainless, third luminous, fourth is the hard to concourse. It's just only one paragraph. Then we start, on fourth, fifth, and we start, a few stanza from the sixth. So I think since tomorrow when we have a Sunday class, before we start our class, everybody read all the pages which we already discussed. So before Q&A, I want to say something. Actually, I said, many times I said many times in class. Also, since we have a Zoom class, also I said few times. All of you who attend the Dharma class, who visit, many centers, different centers, which is very good. You have a right to visit any centers. You have a, very strong enthusiasm to study and practice Dharma, which is perfectly okay. But many people, they have a lot of confusion how to practice Dharma. They have a lot of misunderstanding because they know little bit here, little bit there. They don't know the complete, very complete picture of the Buddha teachings. They have a lot of confusion because they study all kinds of Dharma books. They attend, many different classes. Then at the end, many people, they really don't know how to put all the teachings, all the classes put together. Then they practice very different ways. This is no good. You must attend different classes. You must study many books as much as you can. You must remember how to put all together for one day your practice. For example, we have a Lamrim class. So we have a intermediate way class. So we receive teaching from this year or 37 practice of Bodhisattva, intermediate way, tracing or dependent origination, received initiation. So we must know all the teachings, only teaching for only two things. One, teaching how to cultivate bodhicitta. bodhicitta. Second teaching about dependent origination, teaching about middle way, teaching about, what is teaching about knowing emptiness. So our daily practice, we focus on cultivating bodhicitta, not just wishing, really need to cultivate bodhicitta. Also, not just wish to realize emptiness. You really study, use the logics and reasonings, really need to know the emptiness. If you're really eager to know emptiness, then all the teaching about emptiness become very important. If you just have a kind of curiosity about emptiness, then reading about all the books about emptiness, it just become like a story. It cannot become very important books. Also, we have a wishing to generate bodhicitta, then the practice of Lamrim, practicing great compassion, receiving teaching about bodhicitta also is become a daily kind of activity. Cannot see very importance. Therefore, what you need to think, I really, seriously, I want to be bodhisattva. I really want to know emptiness. I want to explore the actual emptiness, because emptiness is very important for me, because I have all the negative thoughts. All the misperception I have is rooted by ignorance. Without emptiness, none of the methods, means can destroy emptiness. Therefore, I want to know emptiness. I want to practice bodhicitta seriously because I want to be Buddha. Because not I want to be happy. No, I want to benefit all sentient beings. Because all sentient beings, they are like my dearest parents, my dearest mother, my dearest friend. Now all sentient beings in samsara, they are containing a lot of sufferings. I want to support them. Therefore, I want to practice bodhicitta. So first, we must think seriously, be serious about practicing bodhicitta and emptiness. Then, when you attend teaching from, teaching at different center, different master, you must know, okay, today the master teaching about Heart Sutra is mainly about what? Emptiness. Oh, tomorrow the master, the teaching, teaching about Lamrim. Lamrim has many topics about what? Oh, at the beginning, he was telling the uniqueness of the Lamrim. Oh, second, he teaching about relying on teachers. Then you must learn the quality of the teachers, quality of the students. You must know, this teaching about what. Also, sometimes many people has a, very strong, fantasies. Very strong fantasies. Oh, I want to practice power. I want to practice the Pardo. Within Pardo, I can be Buddha. Or I want to practice Vajrayana. It's very powerful. It's a very swift way to become Buddhahood. Oh, I receive initiation. I'm doing this Vajrayana practice, recitation, chanting, chakra, channels. Everything for you as a beginner who doesn't have a strong, solid foundation. All the Vajrayana practices is just fantasies for you because you don't have foundation. For example, there's a rocket, one of the faster advanced rocket can go all the way to moon. Then you have a very strong desire to use the rocket. You have a strong desire. You know, the rocket is so fast, can reach to the moon within 24 hours. It's true. It's real. If you know how to use it, you can reach to the moon for within 24 hours. But you know that it has a power to reach to the moon. Also, you know you have a very strong desire, strong wishing to play, use the rocket. But you never think, do I have a knowledge how to use it? Do I know how to use properly? You never think, you just want to use the rocket, go into moon. If you use the rocket, instead of you going moon, you're going to crash. So Vajrayana practice like that. So as a foundation, please practice bodhicitta based on 7 cause and effect, exchanging 7 others. Then really try to understand emptiness based on the enter into middle way. So since the 6th bhumi, then we're going to enter into the mostly emptiness. Therefore, many of you are very busy. I know it's very busy, even though today like Sunday is an off day, but still you have a lot of thing to do. But you attend this teaching because you need to think, oh, somehow I need to study emptiness. You must think this is a very important class, even though I'm not important. Also, my English is not good English, but somehow you will learn something. So, therefore, should not have a lot of confusion, should not have a lot of fantasies, should not have impractical things in your minds. So, practice compassion, practice passion. To practice compassion, you must start from your family. Practice patience, forbearance, also start from your family. First, you have a compassion within your family, your brother and sister, your father and mother. You have a strong sense of hatred, sense of anger towards your family. Then you're thinking compassion for all sentient beings is a totally, pointless. It's totally, doesn't make sense. You have no compassion towards your friends, your family. How you can practice compassion for others? You cannot. Also, you don't have any tolerance, any patience within your family who stay with you. Then you have a lot of fantasy. Oh, I have a passion for all sentient beings. First, you don't need to be patient with sentient beings. First, be patient with your friends, your family who stay with you. Be patient with them. Have a compassion, be compassionate for them. Then slowly, this is kind of principle. It's like a seed. Then this compassion, this tolerance, therefore you can extend towards who live around you, your co-workers, your friends. Then slowly you can expand in all Singaporeans. Then slowly Malay, Thai, Indonesian. Then slowly Asia. Then slowly whole world. Then slowly whole samsara. Otherwise, generally, roughly, yes, you have a compassion for all sentient beings. If you come nearest to you, the people who live next to you, no compassion, no patience, no honest, no morality, then how you can practice for others? Therefore, all the practice you must start within yourself, within your family, then slowly you can extend. This I want to say. Also, whatever you study, you just not just finish the chapter. Over the chapter, start new chapter, then you totally forgot what you learned in the past. Then you look like become a bear, right? Bear who catch the fish. Catch one fish, without eating the fish, he tried to catch another one. The first fish had to release. He, the bear, put a lot of effort to catch fish for a few hours. At the end, the bear can catch only one fish. We should not be like that. Whatever you study, we must remember. In the past, we study like House Sutra. We study dependent origination, Raj-Sealing Sutra. We practice offering mandala. We practice how to practice Bodhisattva practice. We have so many classes from me. Also, you have so many classes from other master. Whatever you attend the teaching class, you must remember. Otherwise, you become like a bear, right? Bear?
Yes, bear. Yes, bear.
Correct. We, everybody should not be like bear. Okay? We, everybody like a bank. Bank, okay? Somebody deposit money. You must put in account. Every very detail. Next time somebody come, you must return. This is your money. So everybody have to be look like a good bank. Whatever you receive, you must protect. Otherwise, you study for 10 years. At the 11th year, you don't have anything in your mind. This one I want to say. Second, make sure whatever you study, whatever you learn, all this knowledge you have about Dharma, your Dharma knowledge is look like very precious, important medicine. Precious, important medicine. This important and precious medicine should not be poison, should not become a poison. It's very important. It's important teaching. It's very precious. Should not become a poison. What I mean, the knowledge you have, the knowledge you gain from the books, from the class, from the masters, should not it cause to increase your ignorance. Should not increase to cause your fantasies. Should not cause to increase your ego, jealousy, attachment, desire. All your Dharma knowledge cause to increase your ego. The precious, important medicine become poison. Then the more you attend class, the more you study Dharma, you become more negative person. You will get a lot of negative energy because all the Dharma, the teaching become poison for you. If you feel like that, if you notice, oh, I'm like that, before I was very happy, I was very open-minded, since I attend Dharma class, I'm become very unhappy. I have become very egoistic person. That means you must notice the Dharma transform into poison for me. Then what you should do? Please stop. Please stop to study Dharma. Please stop to attend the Dharma class. Please stop to practice Dharma. Because it's become poison. It makes you suffer this life and also it leads you to suffer in next life. Therefore, all the teachings you consider is very precious, very important, is mainly for reducing my negative thoughts. All the teaching is mainly to increase my happiness. So this I want to say. And also somebody has another misunderstanding. Oh, since you study Dharma, since you attend, like a Nalendra course, attend many other teachings, you think, oh, Samadhi is very important. Then chanting, recitation, making offering not important. Also is wrong. Somebody said, no need to study. You no need to know emptiness. Just you pray to Buddha, do prostration, make offerings, do Vajrasattva practices. It's okay for you. It's also misunderstanding. It's a misperception. We need both. We need to do recitation, chanting, mandal offering, prostration, Vajrasattva practices for accumulating merit, purifying negative karma. Then based on this practice, if you study, then for you a bit more easier to study, more easier to understand the Dharma. If you only to study, no practice, no use, no important, it become useless. If you only do recitation, chanting, no study, then remember all your practices become mundane, not super mundane. Otherwise, you can compare we cannot compare, Christian and Muslim. You can compare Hindu. Hindu people, all the Hindu people also do prostration, chanting, recitation, meditation, recite mantra. We do too. So what is the difference between Buddhist and Hindu? Right? So as a Buddhist, recitation, chanting, recite mantra, prostration are very important. Study also very important. Study important, also this practice are very important. Therefore, we must do both. Particularly as a beginner, we do more, like recitation, chanting, then study. Slowly, then you switch the timing. Study more, recitation, chanting less. But we have to do both. We need both practice, right? And also some of our Dharma friends, they are not really, definitely are not jealous. But make sure when you advise, when you give, when you clarify some misunderstanding of a Dharma, you make sure you are giving right instruction. Otherwise, people ask you this question, you also don't know much. You just say, oh, you do this is okay lah. You should not say like that. So before you advise, before you clarify some, doubt, some misunderstanding, you must have a very clear, perfect picture of the meaning. You can explain. Otherwise, you better to say, oh, I really don't know. If you want to know, you read this book, that books. Then the people, the person will read the books. Then they will have a good understanding. So thank you so much. We have a few minutes. Can I have a question, please?
Yes, Geshe. I started off with questions relating to today's teaching first.
Yes, please.
Can Geshe please explain 3.13? Though extremely piercing, what is this piercing referring to?
Oh.
Is it that at this ground there will be a lot of difficulty, or does it refers to the Bodhisattva's practice will be very sharp and precise? So
Yeah.
in Chinese text is 此地极利而不称. So yeah, would Geshe kindly explain?
Yes, I will, okay. So the Bodhisattva who reached to the third bhumi, his mind and wisdom very sharp, very strong to dispel the anger, attachment, and intolerance. But he never get like angry or anger thoughts. No heat of anger. He never have a anger towards the person who has a lot of problems, who has a lot of faults. Therefore, you can see, one person is very intelligent, he has a very sharp mind, so he can solve all the problem very easily. Then, when he meets very, slow learning, very dull person, then he try to explain, the person don't understand. Then, person get angry. The sharp to dispel his own anger, attachment, desire, have a very sharp mind. But when he meet the false, the slow learner person, and he explain the teaching, the person doesn't understand, but he never get angry. Yeah, sharp is very sharp. Yeah, you are precise, me very sharp wisdom to dispel the intolerance and so on, but he never get angry. Therefore, this copy from Geshe Lobsang, he said, on this ground, though extremely precising, means extremely sharp wisdom, but no heat of anger, remain. So he doesn't have any anger towards the person who has a lot of faults. It's a by Lama Tsongkhapa. Because he practiced patience so many years, therefore his mind is very sharp. His wisdom is very sharp to dispel the darkness of attachment and anger. But he never have an angry towards the people who has a lot of faults, because his mind is totally, matured by compassion. Yeah. Next question, please.
The question is from May Wang. When a child get bullied in school, how to explain to the child that bullying is due to the non-virtuous act from the past life, as a way to teach the child the meaning of forbearance?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah. When a child get bullied in school, how to explain to the child that bullying is due to the non-virtuous act from the past lives, as a way to teach the child the meaning of forbearance?
I don't think this is the time to teach the children, oh, you should not get angry because somebody bullied you. You bullied the person in the previous life. The children, doesn't understand the meaning. So I think I don't have any child. Let's say, who have a child. First, you need to know the child, the mentality. The child bullied in school by someone, then you can say, well, I know, I'm so sorry, he or she bullied you every day, but you should not respond, be quiet, be quiet. If you respond, if you react, they will bully more for you. When you become stronger, when you become more powerful, then you can bully back. Then the children think, oh, yeah. When I become strong, I will. But you are not really teaching non-virtues. You are teaching the children should not react, should not respond. Therefore, because my experience, some children doesn't want to study. They don't want to study anymore. They want to play any game. They just want to enjoy. Then I said, okay, do you like car? Do you like car? Oh, sorry, somebody called. I said, do you like car? Of course, all children play game. They say, yeah, I like car. I like sport car. Yes, you want to buy? Yeah, I want to buy. Then I said, this time, your parents don't have enough money to buy sport car for you. If you study well, you will get good position. You will get good job. When you have a good job, you will have a lot of money. Then you can buy a sport car. Then the child will feel, oh, I want to study because I want to buy a sport car. So you also need to teach a little bit fantasies to the child. Or you should not teach them, your previous life karma. The child is, teenager who understand, then slowly you can teach, oh, this is your previous karma. You should not be angry. You have done them in your previous life. Now they are, doing for you. It depends on the age of the children. Next question, please.
The next question comes from Kim. Geshe La, earlier on you mentioned the need to go to Pure Land, not out of attachment. Could Geshe La help us to distinguish the mind of aspiration from the mind of attachment?
Usually attachment arises with the condition. For example, oh, I really like the food. You have a strong attachment to the food. Because you like, there's a condition. you to be liked, because the taste is good. Also, you really, care your family, because this also condition, because he or she is my relative, he or she is my nephew, brother, sister. These are very conditioning things. So, wish to born in pure is expired by attachment or not. You need to check, is it condition expiration or a non-conditioned aspiration. You thought, if you think despite my happiness, I only wish to, I wish to born in pure land only for becoming Buddha, then I can benefit others. That means you are expired by, a pure mind. If you think, oh, in this world, I have so many problems, I cannot practice Dharma. Then if I am born in pure, I have no problems. Then also this kind of aspiration become bit conditioned. That's why, do you remember there's a story during the pension, I think Losang Chuyin, he was, I think, 90 years old, 90 plus years old. He was quite old in that time in Tibetan. In that time in Tibet, if someone is 90 or 80 years old, we consider as very, very old. Even though in my village, most people pass away like 60 plus, 70. So he was 90 years old. Then he was quite old. Then they was talking about, passing away. Then one of the disciples said, oh, I don't think you need to worry. After you pass away, you will go into the Tushita. He said, I never have any desire to born in Tushita and Pure Land. I always wish to born in samsara, remain in samsara, then benefit to the samsari beings. Right? So he has an aspiration to born in the samsara to benefit others. You have an aspiration to born in Pure Land because only one condition, want to be Buddha to benefit other sentient beings. Yeah, this is, I think, somehow, so far I knew the Pure Land practice is the Mahayana practice, is included in the Mahayana path. So this lifetime, you must have a bodhicitta, you must realize emptiness. Then within the bodhicitta, in the emptiness state, when you recite the mantra of Amida Buddha, then definitely, you can born in pure, you can be born in Pure Land. And also it's mentioned, before, while you are passing away, then eight bodhisattva will come to you and bring you to the Pure Land. It's kind of a little bit maybe fantasies, I'm not sure. Next question, please.
Yeah, Geshe-la, I don't have question on the queue. Maybe while our Dharma brother and sister thinking of the question, would you kindly give us some sneak preview on teaching of Lama Tsongkhapa, Essence of True Eloquence, that His Holiness, His Holiness is going to give?
Because for me, I really don't know which chapter. This is maybe second or third years, right? I'm not sure which chapter he will start. So His Holiness also will keep teaching, based on the intended middle way. So instead of reading the eloquence of the essence of the teaching, I think you read the intended middle way. If you really want to read the eloquence, right? Yeah, essence of the eloquence. Then you read the chapter about the Madhyamika. I think he will start mainly from the Madhyamikas.
Okay, thanks, Geshe-la. I have one question from Zoe.
Okay.
Forbearance, even dedicated towards perfect Buddhahood, is mundane if objectified in terms of three factors. If there is no such objectification, the Buddha said, this is perfection. This is a perfection that indeed transcends the world. In the verse 3.10, we are studying emptiness, and some may be at a stage where we are contemplating emptiness, probably far from realizing emptiness. In this context, our forbearance, if any, are still far from non-objectification of the three factors. Can Geshe please explain to us at what point in our journey of studying, contemplation, and meditation does our forbearance become non-objectified?
I think, Zoe, so I will explain this for next time. Also, Zoe, can you read this sentence and put your question in the very simple way? Because here what Buddha said, dedication, right? Forbearance, even dedicate towards the perfect Buddhahood, is maintenance. If objectification in terms of the three factors, then forbearance, if there's no such as objectification, full stop, right, like comma, then Buddha said, this is perfect, that indeed transcendent world. What Buddha said, if you have a self-grasping with the three things, is become maintenance. If you don't have a self-grasping of three things, then it's become transcendent. Also, what you said, we are far way to realize emptiness. It is no truth. Because the experience, the recognition of the mother, song said, so we haven't realized, but actually the mother is always within us. The emptiness of the mind is always with us because the mind is always with us. What is why we cannot recognize? Because we have some misunderstanding to recognize the emptiness of the mind. Because we have to switch our view. We need to switch our view. For example, we think everything is permanent. We think nothing permanent. The condition, phenomenon, impermanence. We think everything look like very pure. We think it's impure. Things are look like inherently existent. Nothing inherently existent. First you think in this way, think. Then when you look at the phenomena, you can have a few layers. First, how to appear. Second, how to exist. Why they exist. You need to think within three layers, how to appear, how to exist, why they exist. You need to think within the three layers. Then please, we everybody, we should not think it is far away to realize emptiness. I think it's quite easy to realize emptiness. Please, read the mother, the recognition of the mother of the song. Okay, so thank you so much for attending the class. Then have a happy Sunday. And I know Singapore is quite free, almost free from COVID-19, but we should not be careless, because when I go for morning, evening walking, I can see many people become already very careless. Then many people not really wearing the mask. So still, I think we have to be very careful. Also, we no need to be very reluctant. We not need to be so stressful. If we affected by COVID-19, it's not that serious. We will be okay. Okay, and thank you so much. Have a happy Sunday and see you next. Thank you.